सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्तदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Verse number 49. Asakta buddhi sarvatra chitatma vigata sprihah naishkarmya siddhim paramam sanyasenādi-gacchati. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata sprihah naishkarmya siddhim paramam senādi-gacchati. As we have seen in the last session, all our actions are to end in not doing anything. Only in the state of actionlessness we find ourselves at peace and rest. I just want to complete this job. Is it not what we say? Every one of us take up a job or any work only to complete it, only to finish it, and in that finishing you feel completed, done, relaxed. So you look forward to the Friday evening, right? By the whole week I've been working, and also the vacation. Oh, I don't need to work. So this state of actionlessness in the highest sense is called naishkarmya. Naishkarmya means no work. Oh, wonderful, no work. Naishkarma siddhim paramam, the highest state of actionlessness, not just not doing. The need to do is no more. There are two things there. One is not doing, another is no need to do. There are two kinds of silence you can keep. You don't want to speak, you don't need to speak. Where are you right now? You can't speak. So, Swamiji, we are listening, we don't want to speak. Okay. But do you want to speak? Of course, yes. In many of our gathering, when we have, some talk or other, at the end of the talk, you should see the volume of the people, It'll just hit the floor. Hit the ceiling, sorry. So, action, either you do, when you do it, you are enthusiastic to complete it, finish it, get the result, and at the end of it, you say, okay, done. But does it stop there? It leads to next one. When is that you say, I'm done? There's no need to do it. If at all I do it, I choose to do it, not I'm compelled to do it. So here Bhagavan Krishna says, this state of mind where you are not anymore compelling yourselves to do, you choose to do, or choose not to do, that is the state of sannyasa. It is not renunciation, it's not running away, escaping, walking away from your responsibilities. It is knowing that you have done it and no more you need to do it. This maturity comes over a period of time when we reduce our demands from the world. When we keep on increasing our expectations from the world, the karma, the action would never end. Therefore, asakta buddhi, first one he puts there. There is no asakti, dependence or attachment to things, this should happen this way, or this should not happen this way, and this is how I want, this I do not want. This is what we are all the time. Especially with relationships, with the closest relations, maximum demand. I didn't expect you to say this. Even saying or even gestures can disturb you. I didn't want you to smile that way. There is more closer you are, more expectations, more demands, more do's and don'ts, more likes and dislikes. We are not either ourselves independent, nor allow anybody to be independent. So, here Bhagavan says, asakta buddhi. Sanj is to unite, attach. Sangha, that is association. Asanga, asakti, asakta buddhi. Where the mind has become grown enough, mature enough, not that I'm unhappy, I'm bitter, I don't like it, therefore leave it. No. Raising above in the mind or understanding that it only causes more and more mental trouble, confusion, disturbance, agitations. Why do I need to invite this? At the same time, I don't care. That's not the point here. It is not I don't care attitude. I am mature enough to accommodate imperfections. Now, who is not imperfect? If everybody is perfect, they would not be human beings. I am ready to accommodate imperfections around me, and wherever I can involve and correct it, do it. Asakta buddhi sarvatra, everywhere. It is not that we are not having the asakta buddhi or a detached, perception. When you come into this facility, some paper is here and there. Asakta buddhi. I don't care. Somebody takes care of me. Should I bow? We apply it, in certain places only. Where we need to be careful and do things, we don't do it. Where we should not, we are so agitated about it. Vigata, how does it come? Vigata spruha, vigata icha, vigata kamaha. Where the desires have reduced, demands from the world is reduced. As Gurudev would say, what is this desire? I want. That is called desire. I want that, I want this. Swamiji, actually I don't want. Actually my family wants. That is fine. We give a reasoning for that also. Yesterday somebody asked me this question. Swamiji, how long should we work? How long? I said, until you meet your needs, you work. Beyond that, it is called greed. Swamiji, that is keep on moving. The need keeps on moving. Because you are comparing yourself to somebody else. The neighbor or your cousin or your brother, somebody. So somebody is more than you. See, think about it. Do I need it? Very often we say, he has it, therefore. She has it, therefore. You ask yourself, do you need it? Honestly ask that question to yourself. Then anything do more than what you need is out of choice and with relaxed mind. If it happens, fine. But that never is there in that mind. More. So we are not either democratic or republic. We are, which is our economy? Is it democratic economy or capitalistic economy or communist economy? No, we are Moreist. Moreist economy. More. All that you need to do is go to your garage and see how many things you have accumulated. Instead of car, everything is bekar is there. Car is outside. The most costly car, you kept it outside. Useless things you put it in this. Now why? Calm mein aa jayega. Never came. That calm never came. After some time it will go to garage sale. Anyway. So vigata spruha asakta buddhihi, and therefore his mind is jita atma. The mind, the demanding mind is conquered. Clearly knows this is much and not more necessary. Such a person, sannyasena, here by maturity of thinking, not necessarily running away into a lonely place or away from responsibilities, because he is teaching to whom? Arjun. Not to renunciate or to a person who is given up everything and sitting in front of a guru. No, he is right at the battlefield. Sannyasena adhigacchati. What? Naishkarmya siddhi. So we saw in the last session how to exhaust the vasanas, which are all the backbone of all our desires. Until all vasanas are fully exhausted, freedom from sorrow will not be accomplished. And vasanas are of four kinds: physical, emotional, intellectual, and religious. Sense pleasures, wealth, etc. Vasanas, this is at the physical level, they will only multiply by indulgence and greed. Dispassion is the solution. Emotional vasanas are companionship, relationship. Every relationship is built upon reciprocity. None is permanent except the soul's relationship with God. Intellectual one is social status, self-respect, etc. Happiness that is decided by others enslaves us. Eternal joy is inherent in us, which is independent of everything. And religious one is beliefs and practices and fanatically believing in certain things. Religious is vital support for the spiritual progress, but it should not become a preoccupation of the mind. Perform duties with dispassion and devotion to God while you continue to discover the inherent joy through solitude, meditation, and religious practice with an aim to become free of desires, not more and more demanding again. Continuing here, spiritual psychology. Now, this word spiritual is not there, it is spiritual psychology of Vedanta. When the self-knowledge takes place, so here, first is what causes the desire? Desire is caused by unhappiness. And unhappiness is not having the knowledge that one is happy actually. Otherwise, we will not be demanding happiness all the time. Do you demand something which you don't know? So I know what is happiness, but I am not that right now. Therefore, a constant demand for happiness, some way or the other. And that is because I am not aware of the fact that inherently I am of the nature of happiness. So that ignorance is what causes the desire. Desire leads to action, thoughts, and then action, because that you cannot see that color is not. So ignorance, desire, thought, action. This is the sequence. Action is because of a thought, thought is because of the desire, desire is because of the ignorance. So actions cannot be without thoughts, while activities can continue without the thoughts also. How? Thought is a link between the subject I and the rest, the objects. While thought is internal, its expressions are external. Desire is I and I want. If want is absent, there is no desire, but there is pure I. In the state of sleep, for example, you don't want anything, are you unhappy? I slept so well, Swamiji, so unhappy I am. So what is the source of happiness there? Nobody says that I slept well and I was very unhappy about it. No. So where is the happiness coming from? What is the source there? The source is very clear, that is within only, it is not outside. So that means there is a state where I am, where there is no demand of anything from the world. So that only proves that when the thoughts are reduced, you start discovering what is already there. Just like the silence now, when I stop talking, the silence you hear, do you hear silence or observe silence? Now I am Swamiji, I am hearing silence. You cannot hear silence. Silence is already there. On the top of the silence, there is a disturbing element called the voice. Similarly, thoughts are disturbances in consciousness, caused by vasanas, which lead to desires in the mind, thoughts in the intellect, action in the body. So when we consciously bring our thoughts to a reduce the thought and bring to the bare minimum, this is actually the practice in meditation. Not forcefully stop the thoughts. That is why he gave asakta buddhihi sarvatra. When the demand from the world is any more, the expectations are no more, you are able to be with yourself more. And the thought reduction leads you to discover the inherently peaceful presence. So therefore, if desire is present, then it is complete only when it expresses through thoughts and actions. Desire is lack of happiness. Seeking external happiness is natural for all living beings. All beings that are ignorant of the self, the abode of happiness. Just as the son of a rich man begs on the streets due to the being self-forgetful, ignorance of the self, which is naturally blissful, causes the desires, thoughts, and actions. When the self-knowledge takes place, where the self-forgetfulness is replaced by self-knowledge, self-recognition, no more desires remain, and hence the state of actionlessness, naishkarmyam. That's the point which Bhagavan Krishna wants to bring in. Even though he is expecting Arjuna to act, not that, oh, fine, Arjuna got it, very good, let me not do anything. No, you cannot just not doing, you reach there. You do and get mature by not getting attached to the result, thereby starting the process of maturity or purity of mind, and slowly recognizing that all actions are born out of desire unless I remove the desire, not just actions. It is like when you're sitting in the car, you put the accelerator also and press the brake also. What happens then? The little moving away from the brake. The nearest tree is your destination. Because you are pushing both. I don't want to act, but I am not stopping my desire. Instead of that, if you reduce your acceleration, then slowly the car will come to a stop. You don't even press the brake. It will stop because you are not pushing any further. You are not giving energy to it. In the same way, when the mind has started to understand how desire causes so many agitations and disturbances, leading to sometimes very great unhappy state also, when you don't get what you want. So slowly as you reduce your desire, you will see that naturally the mind has calmed down. Swamiji, I am a grihastha, not like you. This is my griha and I am grihastha only. No, don't say that, oh, sannyas. You may probably refer to somebody who is in some cave in the Himalaya. Maybe he is not. But doing it with the right purpose, intention, and leaving it. Don't hold on to things. Do the right thing. Efficiently leave it. Let it happen. And the anxiety about the result and all that is causing us the desire to become factor for agitations. So therefore, Bhagavan Krishna concludes in this topic here. And moving to the next point, what is that actionless will lead you to? Siddhim prapto yata brahma tatapnoti nibodame samasenaiva kaunteya Nishta jnanasya ya para Siddhim prapto yata brahma tatapnoti nibodame samasenaiva kaunteya nishta jnanasya ya para. This state of actionlessness, as I have stated, not doing, no need to do or choose to do. The choosing to do is out of not personal demand or selfishness, but the external world circumstance expects my participation. I choose to participate. And when you choose to participate, you're not compelled, you do out of freedom. So here, siddhim praptaha yata, then such a person who has reached this point of maturity of choosing his actions and willingly doing it, or choosing not to do it. Because this not doing it doesn't disturb him. Because his mind has reached a point of tranquility and peace and happiness within. Not doing will make him abide in that joyful presence inside, within. So he will work out of joy, not for joy. And thus, such a person working out of joy will never get tired. When you happily doing something out of happiness, you'll never get tired. So, that mind which has become very serene and quiet because of the state of no demand from within, and such a mind, how does it reach the highest point of realization? Yata Brahma apnoti tata nibodhame. How does it reach the final point of moksha, the state of oneness with the highest self, Brahman? Yata apnoti tata, that one, nibodhame, listen from me. And I am going to tell you, not elaborately, samasena, in brief. Some people read it as samosa. No, not samosa. Samasena. In brief. Very precisely in brief, I am going to talk about this. Because elaborately he explains in many different places. But Krishna did not have almost time to finish. 18th chapter ho gaya, abhi shuru karna hai na sab. War has to begin. So, samasena. In brief, I will tell you, Kaunteya's son. What is that? Ya para jnanasya nishtha. It's called abidance or staying with knowledge. Because this awareness of oneself as the nature of Brahman is forgotten for a long time. Not this birth, many lives. And this birth, as a human, we have got an opportunity. As a other living being, there is no ability to think in that direction. Because of the inability to, there is no buddhi, intellect, there is no education, there is no self-awareness, there is only constant demand of the body. As a human being, we have got the opportunity to think in this direction. So, jnanasya nishtha, the abidance in knowledge, correct understanding, para, that you listen to me now. How to go about from here on. Now, here onwards, Bhagavan Krishna is going to be very seriously speaking about the sadhana. Until then, he gave reasons and logic and why one has to come to this point. Because the question, remember, he asked that beginning of the chapter, what asked, what is tyaga, what is sannyas? Tyaga, preparation. Sannyas is final culmination. Meaning, after completing this many process of tyaga, and then finally he says, sannyasena digacchati. So, while a person working in this world, doing this best and slowly getting the maturity of understanding, purifying the mind and reaching a point of correct knowledge through the help of the study of scriptures and the teacher, now he comes to a point where no more tyaga, I have to move to the next level of sannyas. So here onwards he is going to speak on what is that state of sannyasa means. This he has explained in other chapter, 5th chapter itself. Nyayasya nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti nakangshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukam bandhat pramuchyate. One who does not have any more likes and dislikes in his mind. Nadveshti nakangshati. And nirdvandvaha, he is beyond the pairs of opposites. Because we are living in the pairs of opposites. Good, bad, right, wrong, sin and merit. This is internally in our mind. This is good, this is bad. This is right, this is wrong. This is dharma, this is adharma. This is what I want, this I don't want. This I like, this I don't like. This is good, that. So this way our mind has got these pairs of opposites. Outside also the world is pairs of opposites. darkness and light, day and night. Is it not? Heat and cold. The external world is also pairs of opposite. So then the mind which is already having many pairs of opposites, dealing with the world with the pairs of opposite, we are caught up in the entire entanglement of that. Whereas the state of sannyasa means acceptance of both as realities and rising above it, or accepting both are equally not true. If both are right, which is then you have to rise up there. It doesn't matter. If both are equally false, then why am I bothered about that? So this balance within, that one who reaches this state where no more likes and dislikes, good and bad, these are all relations, relative, not absolutes. So that state of mind where an individual is ready for jnana nishtha. Nishtha jnanasya. Now you see, this requires a very important paradigm shift. Our priorities will change. Now you may say, how does that suddenly will happen? Not suddenly, but eventually. Like a lady, a woman deciding to become a mother. Think, is it that overnight? Yes and no. So when the mother conceives, the lady conceives, and she's getting ready to a state where from merely being a woman, I'm going to become mother, means I know what is coming. Meaning, I have to change my priorities. Doesn't that happen? I don't know. You should know. A father also equally. No more parties. Because exactly 11 o'clock that fellow will start crying. Night. Demanding your attention for the next 2-3 hours. Doesn't sleep. When you are sleeping, he is fully awake. He is like Yanisha Sarva Bhuta, like a sadhu. It is said that if everybody sleeps, he is awake, and everybody is awake and he is sleeping. Anyway, cats also like that. Anyway, so here a mother therefore becomes fully available for the child, and no other priorities are there. Ready to give up job also, is it not? Some places when they say, okay, I cannot work, I don't want to work for the next 4 or 5 years until this fellow becomes big. And many other things, going to different places. The marriage is happening, so will it happen? I cannot go. Party is happening, I cannot. The priority becomes only being mother. So too, a person who has reached a point and recognizes that I have to reach there, nothing else is priority now. That is jnana nishtha. I have to reach that point of no return. Freedom now or no more. I have to reach there. This is mumukshutva. The desiring to be free no matter what. That drive comes to one, and what is that state of, what is the practice required there? That samasena, in brief, I'll tell you. Because ultimately, Bhagavan has to conclude the topic of Gita, right? He has to finish that. He cannot go on. He's coming towards the end. Now he gives the requirements for that abidance in jnanam. It is like matrutva nishtha. Abiding into the state of being a mother. That you have decided to do it, and then you have to stay there only in that state, because that child is entirely depending upon you and nobody else. So too, moksha is not going to be given to you by anybody else. Even the guru cannot do it. If any guru says, I will give you moksha, run away from that person. Nobody can give you. You have to take it. Because it is something which you need to discover in you, by your own means. The guidance comes from the teacher outside. $5,000, moksha guaranteed. Longer the beard, greater should be your doubt. Gurudev himself would say, longer the beard. So, what is the requirement here? Because see, scriptures, shastras are given to us for our own personal progress and moving forward. There is no shortcut here. Any shortcut, short-lived. I cannot say, bypass everything, I can give you. But you have to give me 5,000. See, now tell me, moksha is for $5,000. What is important to you? The person who gives $5,000 is important. For such a person, money is important than the knowledge that he gives. That knowledge is then valid. Paisa ke liye deta hai. So he gives more importance to money than the knowledge he possesses. As much as you go to a shop and he gives some object that you want, by you giving the money, what is important to him, you tell me, the object or the money? If it is that, then you will not give. If I have iPhone, I will give you for $100. So that is $100 more important to me than the iPhone that I have. So too, if one is selling knowledge, he is not a person of knowledge. Think. Buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha dhrityatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayan staktva ragadveshau vyudasya cha buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha dhrityatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayan staktva ragadveshau vyutasya cha. In the world, anything that you want to do, you want to go to a particular professional engagement or any job that you seek, first thing they will tell you is what are your qualifications. Profile. So here, what is the profile of a jnana nishtha? One who is able to abide in the knowledge, first of all understand knowledge is available through the proper understanding at the intellect. And if it is impure, then what you are practicing also will become incomplete. Do you know how to cook rice? Yes. What do you need to do? Rice must be there first of all. Then vessel must be there. Water must be there. Put it on a stove. Then put on the stove. If that you don't do, I know what to do, but I don't know how to put it on. You make it a rice, but not cooked rice. It's not edible. Similarly, knowledge is there, but application is lacking. When application is happening, will happen only when there is purity of motive. The purity is, that's why buddhya vishuddhaya. Not just buddhi alone. Vishuddhaya buddhya yuktaha. And that tyaga brings that vishuddhi in the buddhi. All that is spoken earlier, asakta buddhihi sarvatra, that asakta buddhi, that detached mind, the mature mind is the requirement here. Vishuddhaya buddhya. With the mind which is intellect that is pure. Now, the purity of mind, intellect here, there are two things Gurudev used to say, mind and the intellect. These two have to be separated because mind is usually the one which is engaging in all emotional engagements. All relationships are built upon the mind. If you have a relationship based upon relationship, it will not last long. Emotion. Now, that purification of that emotion happens only with the love for God. Because it is an emotion. Bhakti is an emotion, and purity of mind takes place only with that emotion. With the impure emotions can be modified into pure emotion with the love for God. That's why Bhagavan says, Ishwararpitam karma kuru. You do the work for the sake of the Lord and bring, instead of your personal motives and fulfillment, bring the love for God as a predominant in your action. So the manashuddhi bhaktya, buddhi shuddhi vicharena. Purity of the intellect takes place only by correct reflection and understanding. Now, you see, when we talk about this as the final goal to reach as a human being, how many of us are convinced about it? Hoga. So when we are not sure that is our goal, or even a common man, a person of the world, does not know the goal. Gold. Doesn't say, I want to liberate. What's wrong with you? And we should learn Gita. And what do they? You're going to go for basketball. No, see, therefore, if I am not convinced about this, how do I get convinced about it? That this goal can be reached, or is it available? What is the pramana for that? What is the means for it? What is the means to know it? So the great masters have said, Shravanena pramana abhavana nivritti. Listening gives clarity. The buddhi shuddhi, the purity of intellect, takes place slowly. First step of purity of intellect is what you are doing right now. Listening. I am also listening to my own talks also. Shravanam, listening. That helps one to clarify that there is a means to goal. That particular goal can be achieved only by the means, and that means are discussed now in Shravanam. Listening is the way to clarify about the means to the achievement. Now, you are sending your children for 12 years to school. What are they doing day in and day out? My child, basketball. Then that fellow, ABCD would come nahi malum. You expect the child at least 8 hours of every day going to school is to develop the ability to think, but most importantly to listen. That is why listening. 8 hours to the teacher. When he comes home, he doesn't want to listen to any one of you. I am done with Shravanam. Whole day I was doing only that. Now let me talk. That's why I don't want to listen to you people now. If you say listen, I've been doing that the whole 8 hours. But only by jnanam takes place only by Shravanam only. What else? Everything that we know in this world now, until now, is by learning and listening from someone or something. Even reading is actually listening. You're listening to the words of somebody who's written there. Shravanena, by listening, pramana abhavana nivrittihi. That is, there is a means to reach there that you get convinced. Next one is you have to do it yourself. Vichar, reflection. Having listened, what is my understanding of it? If you don't do that, you will become sada sarvakalam only shravana sadhanam. Listening only, never thinking about it. Some people say, no, Swamiji, we listen all right, but when we step outside, everything disappears. Because Gurudev used to say, cross ventilation. Out. So what do you do after listening? Just close your ears and walk. No, not that way. There is a Upanishad statement, Shrutam me gopaya. Whatever I've listened, may, O Lord, be protected. So after having listened, you may not have listened the entire 1 hour, but whatever you have taken it as the essence, think, reflect. This is called mananam. This mananena, by that very practice of reflection, what is the result of that? Prameya abhavana nivrittihi. That this is impossible to reach is removed. The means to reach there is understood by listening. That it is possible to reach there, that is confirmed when you reflect. It is not too far away from me. I am not putting my thought in that direction. Freedom is not going to happen after some time. Freedom you can claim right now, provided you are convinced. Is it not? Who is demanding you to be unhappy in this world? Tomorrow onwards you should be unhappy. You understand? Nobody can make us unhappy unless we allow us to be. Can anybody make you unhappy without your permission? Tell me. You allow it, that weakness is there, the slavery is there, the world, objects cannot make you unhappy, but it does. Why? We allow it. Weakness. While reflecting, you realize that I am strong. Nobody can allow me and make me unhappy unless I allow it, and I don't want to allow this. Because I am of the nature of bliss. This prameya, what is to be reached, you get convinced more and more by reflecting on it. Then finally, dhyanam. By meditation, one comes to realize that I want to make sure that the knowledge is no more external to me, it is me, mine, I am. That confirmation, that constancy in dhyana. So therefore, buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha dhritya, the determination, atmanam niyamyacha, by not allowing the mind and senses to go here and there. Now, having got convinced that this is the goal and I can reach it, and it is a question of me putting forth efforts in that direction. And anything of this kind of a practice require an exclusive engagement. In everyday practice, as I said, now Bhagavan is going to give exclusive practices here. Shabdhadin vishayans tyaktva. Keeping aside a part of your day exclusively for the process of reaching that highest bliss, therefore keeping away aside all other distractions. Shabda adin. Sound, etc. Meaning the sensory experiences, seeing, hearing, etc. Keeping aside shabdadin vishayan tektva, and most importantly in the mind, raga dvesho vyudasya cha. Keeping your mind away from usual tendencies of likes and dislikes. There are likes and dislikes accumulated over many years of living here, let it be so. Let my mind not be on those things. Because what you like in other person also likes, you keep talking about it more and more and more and more, and you become stronger. What you don't like, other person doesn't like, let us say, then you become pals. You don't like, I also don't like. So this mind is engagement in that usual fields of that. At least few moments of your life, everyday life, there should be an exclusive engagement with you, with yourself. And nobody else can participate in that because everyone has to do it oneself. It is not something anybody can give it to you. Earlier times, at least the time when you can be exclusively for yourself is when you go to the restroom. So it's called restroom. But now you carry that also. That fellow goes everywhere. It is not you, it is I. It's not mine anymore. iPhone. It's not my phone anymore. iPad. Your I is extended over to that pad also. The ego is extended up to that. My wife. You don't say I wife, do you say that? But phone, iPhone. I and me, this one is no more different. Even the places you don't take anybody else, you take this. Nowadays they have, while we're taking shower also there is a stand, waterproof stand you put there. Oh. At least at that time you just be with your restroom. Not that at that time you do meditation or something, but you so exclusively a time where you sit down. Bhagavan Krishna says, Shabdadin Vishayan Sektva Ragat Veshav Vyudhasyachayam. Then what you should do there? He says that this exclusively sitting is to be practiced every time, every day. Next verse he says, Vivikta Sevi Lagvashi Yatava Kaya Manasaha Dhyana Yoga Paro Nityam Vairagyam Samupashritaha Vivikta Sevi Lagvashi Yatava Kaya Manasaha Dhyana Yoga Paro Nityam Vairagyam Samupashritaha. Vivikta Sevi means where nobody else disturbing you. Don't do meditation in the middle of the hall. Everybody quiet. I'm doing meditation. It doesn't work. Go to a place or choose a time where others don't disturb you. Preferably go to the nearest garden and where early morning and nobody else is there, only the birds and others, they won't disturb you. Or your own backyard. Vivikta Sevi. Lagu Ashi. Eating very moderately. Be careful. Otherwise, when you sit for meditation, others will hear you. Because the mind, physical body is at rest, mind is at rest, definitely you'll go to sleep. So, Lagu Ashi means one who eats the only required amount, not too much. Yata, constraining Vak, Kaya, Manasa, speech, body and the mind. Kaya, the body, Vak, mind. Vak is the speech and Mana, mind. Yatavak Kaya Manasa. Dhyana Yoga Paro Nityam. Exclusively keeping this practice of meditation as an important daily routine. This is something which I should not compromise anytime. Anyway, anything that you do consistently will become you. Dhyana Yoga Paro Nityam Vairagyam Samupashritaha. And at that point, one understands what are the things I am passionately, unintelligently, unmindfully, habitually caught up in which need not be done, which I understood. That is called maturity. Maturity is not getting old. Maturity is getting away from your usual addictions and habits. We'll see more of it in the next class. I always pick up one verse, not fully complete. Otherwise, next week again I'll go back to the previous one. So I don't want that. I have to start from this one. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari